Congressman Paul Ryan recently spoke at a MacIver Institute event about his new plan to combat poverty in America. His reforms would overhaul the current system, which has spent trillions of dollars over the last 50 years with little to show for it. The congressman's plan would reduce government bureaucracy and empower organizations that are fighting poverty and succeeding every day.
Today we have effectively a poverty management system, not a poverty eradication system. And what's so interesting and inspiring is there are groups who are actually successfully fighting poverty. So the federal government should take a step back, provide resources, mind the supply lines, but get behind our local communities and people and local governments who are on the front lines.
Ryan argues the current tax system and benefit program discourage work and fail to offer specialized help for people in different situations. Aid
needs to be localized, customized, and direct, because one person's problem may not be the other's. This guy might have an addiction problem and he really needs to get off of his addiction. She may have a temporary problem with daycare and job training, or they just have something more chronic and needs different kinds of counseling. Every person facing these challenges has some unique and different problem, so we shouldn't give them some cookie cutter, one-size-fits-all system where the only thing they know is a check in the mail or someone who is not listening and hearing and working with them on their problem, because people want to find a better life for themselves. And I do believe if we can get these kinds of policies in place, I think you'll go from what is a vicious cycle to a virtuous cycle of renewal and regeneration and getting people back on the path toward the American idea.
One major portion of Ryan's plan consists of a type of block grant that would invest in local organizations and governments. The grant, however, would have certain requirements and restrictions.
It is a block grant, but it's block grant with accountability. 4 basic things. You take 11 bureaucracies and funding streams, collapse it into one funding stream. It's got to go to the poor. You can't just, you can't take it to build, another lane for 94, as much as we would like that. Can't do that. It's got to, able-bodied people have to work. You have to have a work requirement. You've got to break up the welfare monopolies. Families in need can't just have one resource center from the county welfare agency. They've got to have more choices, like here in Milwaukee with America Works, or Catholic Charities, or Lutheran Social Services, or whoever, so that you have competition for results, and then you have to measure. The governments, federal and state, had to agree on a third-party measurement to measure results and have performance-based contracting, so that the goal is always wired and focused on getting people out of poverty in a life of self-sufficiency. And if you just take a look around, in Racine, Catholic Charities is doing a phenomenal job, in spite of government, of getting people, putting a plan together and walking them through the journey so that they have a person who cares, who's helping, who's knowledgeable, getting people onto lives of self-sufficiency. So there are seeds of this planted that have been working. Let's upscale it. And let's let states, figure out the best ways to do it so that we can replicate these success stories.
For the MacIver Institute, I'm Jen Healy.